This game's actually older than Outrun 2019, 1990, 1991 according to the copyright. You get the option to practice, which lets you access a few of the courses, but you don't actually get to race anything. It's a useful function. I had to do that at first, so yeah. On this you get to choose your car, but you don't get to input your name, but like I say, that isn't particularly important. The difference is this game actually keeps records. It does store them actually on the cartridge, which was pretty clever for 1990-1991 sort of era. You get 3 different leagues, each of which have different courses, and you can play them in any order. And just to be a hard ass, I'm going to go on King League, which is the 3rd and final set of levels in the game. But then I'm going to put it on beginner because I don't want to get my ass kicked in front of everybody on the net. This game utilises Mode 7 graphics capabilities of the Super Nintendo, allowing it to do basic 3D graphics over any object in that, such as the cars and everything else, just sprites. This game is, like I say, really impressive for its day. The sound effects for the engines, they aren't that great, but you can kind of overlook that, and I've never known when to floor it on. Also, if you crash, you just go bouncing about madly for absolutely ages, but I guess that's kind of realistic. Considering the car's floating, it wouldn't be able to rip the rubber, so it would bounce like that, but it can be quite annoying at times. Pressing L and R while taking a corner makes the car weave into that corner, so you can turn it a lot sharper, which takes a bit of getting used to. Once you've completed one lap, you see the little green S at the bottom of the screen right next to the life meter. One of those will go green. One will go green for every lap you complete. If you press the A button, it gives you a boost, which lets you go faster. Which is good if you're not brilliant at the game, but in all honesty it makes no difference, because no matter how fast you go, once you get in first place, even if you just slow down for a second, and I mean a split second, those cars will catch you up instantly. There you go. How annoys me is these guys on the road? But still, all this does is add to the interest of the game. It's certainly got more features than Outrun 2019 does. Also, apparently it goes faster, but to me, it actually looks slower. Basically, you just go around completing laps, and that's the whole object of the game, which is absolutely fantastic. That's the way it should be. Hey, what's this? Yeah, those guys actually take some of your energy away, but seeing as I've got a fair bit of experience with this game, I see absolutely no reason to be worried by that. In fact, if you touch anything, it takes your energy away. If you touch that, it takes your energy away. Touch the side of the level, it takes your energy away. Everything will take your energy away, making the game more challenging and more interesting. When you get to the final lap, if you come any less than, well, any less anymore, I don't know how to put it, but if you're not third, second or first, you will lose. The number there is under safe, now the top left of the screen. If you come anywhere lower than that, you will lose that level. You just have to do it all over again. Every time you lose a level, it takes away another life. Death wind levels are great. The road actually shakes and it just puts you off completely. And like I say, this game throws all it can at you just to try and stop you from beating. I'm not particularly good at death wind levels. I hate having to hit those arrows to speed up. If you don't hit those, you haven't really got much chance of beating that level. As you just saw there, when you start running out of power, you get this warning flashing up on the screen saying power down. Basically, this means that if you keep crashing into things, you will blow up, which is quite epic, and the first time it happened, I jumped out my skin. It makes a really loud noise. And seriously, did they have to make it any louder? Look, I'll demonstrate on this level here what happens when you die. Actually, I'm going to fast it. There you go. That isn't me dubbing sound effects on. Seriously, it makes that noise. It is just terrible. I mean, it's a good noise, and I don't know. I say terrible as in it's terrible that it shits me up most of the time when it happens. You really don't expect it. So there you go, I'm on fire somewhere in the middle of all that mess there. And that means I have to do the level again. So I can press try again, or I could press end game, which would obviously end the game. It would be pretty surprising if it did something else. Like, maybe it could make the console bring me a beer. Yeah, that would be a nice feature to have. I think technological limitations in the game wouldn't allow for that. Another up for this game, I have to say, is the music. The music's just absolutely fantastic in this game. Once more, just like Outrun 2019, the engine noises kind of drown out the music, which is a real shame. Like most Nintendo games, you don't have a sound test either, which means that if you want to hear the music, you've got to start the game and put it on pause. You can do this tactically if you just keep tapping the B button so you can be sure you're going to move when you start racing. When you're waiting at the beginning, just keep whacking the pause button as well, and eventually it'll stop and you'll be on this menu here. Make sure you don't press yes, or else you will end the game, and then the music will be playing. If you do it right, you can do this just before the music starts playing. You get about 2 seconds of silence, not silence as in the level on this game for all your experienced players, but no noise at all, and then the music might start playing. If not, it's just a case of tapping the button like that, and eventually you will get the music and you'll be able to hear it without the engine noises. All these records that come up on screen are stored. The one that's flashing now implies that that's my best lap of this level, on this go anyway. Apparently if the total flashes, that's a new record, but it's long to go since I saw that happen, so I'm not entirely sure on that one. Red Canyon 2, I love this level. I don't know why, I think the music on it is just absolutely epic. There you go, just that beat in the background. It's fantastic. When F-Zero moved to the Nintendo 64, it became F-Zero X, which was kind of misleading as it sort of said it was the 10th one. I can't remember why it's called F-Zero X, but there we go. The music got more of a rock theme to it, which first time I heard it thought, I'm not sure this is really going to be any good, but in the end it turned out that once more they'd done it. The music was epic. And at first I thought they haven't changed the game too much from this simple Super Nintendo game to what it became on the Nintendo 64, but once more I give it time. Sometimes games need to change. I think if they'd released one just like this on the Nintendo 64, it would probably have flopped. They probably would have never sold a single copy. Whereas, this game, it worked in its day, but I don't think this would have worked the same if it had come out on the Nintendo 64. In true Nintendo style, once you get to the last level, it's like, you dare to come this far? Well, fine. If you want to beat the game, if you think your dad had enough to do that, then bring it on, matey. This last level just throws everything it's got at you to try and stop beating it. At the beginning you think, those lines are supposed to stop me. Well, I don't think so. If it's not things in the level that are going to do it, it's just the layout of the level. These comments. If you've never played this game, maybe you won't know what I'm on about, but it kind of makes things really difficult. You have to go so slow to get round them.